Hey guys, welcome to the channel and welcome to video game updates. And I'm gonna make this a very quick video because my brain is not doing too well. It's kind of, well, it's on the downfall. I'm gonna say. So before my brain completely falls apart, we're going to do this video real quick. I didn't want to do that because I really look forward to this one. This one I was really looking forward to making because I really enjoy playing heavy tanks, but I just can't talk today. In this video is going to require a lot of speech and a lot of thought, and I just can't get through it. So I'm going to do my best. We're doing part 4. On the series, we're gonna do heavy tanks. Heavy tanks happened to me. Can't stand this anymore, guys. Drive me nuts. Heavy tanks happened to be my ultimate favorite. Heavy tanks have one task and one task only. Travel with your companions and groups and assault the front line. Shortest route to the flag. Take everybody down that you can. Now, a heavy tank, even though it's big, it's not indestructible. In the game, and in real life, these monstrosities have weak spots. And people who have no life at all, people who have absolutely no life in this game, spend their entire time trying to find what every single weak spot is. Instead of playing the game and enjoying the game, people spend their entire life working on figuring out where the weak spots are in every single goddamn tank, and purposely use the most expensive ammo on the weakest spots and one-shot everybody. All the douchebags in this game always do that. They take ammo that costs 4,500 silver per shot. I mean, we're talking. Look at this. It costs to purchase this ammo. It costs 978 silver. To purchase this, it costs 4,800 pieces of silver. 4,800 per shot. You know damn well everybody and their mother is going to be using this automatically. Whatever the most expensive ammo is, they're going to load that in with the most expensive equipment, and they're going to use the knowledge that they got off the internet and spam the crap out of people and just absolutely ruin their fun. The game's supposed to be fun, but instead of making it fun, people play to win. Of course, winning is everything to these people. When you're playing like me, when you're playing because the game is fun, and you have people like that go and ruin it, it doesn't ruin my fun. It may ruin other people's, but it doesn't ruin my fun. I just keep playing. That's all you can do. There's going to be a lot of people in this game that are just going to spend their entire paycheck on this game just to win. And there's people like me that play to have fun. And if they win, if not, oh well. There's always another game. And that's how you gotta think about it. That's how you gotta play this game. Yeah, once in a while you do put some money in the game. Why? Because you like to catch up with everybody. You'd like to catch up to everybody else. So you dump gold in once in a while. Once in a while you dump in a little bit of gold just to catch you up. Maybe toss in a little bit of silver so you can get that next tank. Instead of grinding for the next 40 years to get a tank, maybe help it along just a little faster by getting silver. Now, one way you can do that, I'll tell you before we get started, you can go to the store. Now, depending on what your goal is, keep me out of the premium tanks, please. I have a lot. If you need gold only, you can buy any amount of gold that you want. For example, if you want to purchase a gold tank, then you purchase a certain amount of gold. They'll tell you how much it is. Or you could purchase gold packs. See? By purchasing a gold pack, you'll save money overall. This is 1 for 1. By purchasing a gold pack, these you'll automatically save money by purchasing a pack. This you don't. You don't save money on this because it's already cheap. So they're trying to save you money by getting packs. Because if you do this, you'll purchase a certain amount of gold, and that's going to cost full price. Now, let's say you're playing in the game and you just can't seem to earn enough silver. Well, there's one thing you can do to help yourself. Purchase a premium account. Premium account gives you bonus to silver, bonus to experience, and it gives you a credit locker. It gives you bonus to credits, and that when your premium account ends, that locker opens and you unlock it and get all the silver that's saved up in that locker. Now, World of the Tank Plus is the complete opposite. World of the Tank Plus gives you assistance on putting equipment in vehicles. It gives you an exclusive vehicle only for World of Tanks Plus members. It has a gold reserve, not a silver, a gold reserve. You can exclude one more map. And you get free equipment demounting and intensive crew regimen. That I don't know what that is yet. And attendance rewards. I've known people to activate this and this at the same time. I don't know why, but some people do. Again, you don't have to. The only time I ever have premium is if I earn it. So what these are kind of like paint jobs. They're styles. They're like paint jobs for your tank. They will toss this picture all over the tank. It's handy against certain maps. For example, summer map might be good for certain battles, for certain ones. Oh, I remember these guys. Yeah, I remember these guys. Some of those, wow, those are old crew members. Wow. Okay, here are the styles. These are the 2D styles you could buy with bonds. Bonds are something that you have to earn. You can earn them by getting by completing missions and tasks set for specific battle pass or special events. They'll give you bonds in those battle pass and special events. Allow me to show you guys. The current battle pass is going on right now. I'll show you how to get bonds. See these right here? When you reach a certain stage, they give you things. When you reach the stage. There's credits. There's crew and XP. Those are experimental equipment. This is how you get the experimental equipment. They give them away in the battle pass. Now to get far, you need to earn it. Here's where you get the bonds from. Bonds can be obtained from Battle Pass. All you have to do is get to a certain stage and you'll get bonds. Keep going, don't stop. You'll get universal fragments, credits, a mission. You'll get a mission for 5 turn experience in a battle. Some more stuff here. And there's your premium accounts. You'll get one free day of World Tanks Premium. More bonds. Directives. You choose from any of those directives. Training booklets. Universal fragments. More bonds. Again, this is where you're gonna get this is where you get your bonds from. If you ever want to know where to get the bonds from, this is where you gotta get. This is where you have to earn them from. Again, nothing is given to you for free. You can't purchase this shit. You have to earn it. You have to get in there and grind every tank you have to try your best to get up here. To get this shit. They don't give this stuff away. You have to earn it. And these battle passes are extremely hard to get higher up. These battle passes are extremely hard to get in the higher ranks. I mean, I've never reached past level 20. Level 20 is the highest I've ever been in Battle Pass. In my 13 years of being in this game, is that level. That's as high as I've ever gotten. in Battle Pass. That's it, guys. That's as high as I've ever gotten. Granted, I didn't log on every single day, but I did try. I did try my best. Now, to get Battle Pass, you have to get Battle Pass tokens. Battle Pass tokens immediately get exchanged for progress. Excuse me, for progress. Every time you get a Battle Pass, every time you get a Battle Pass token, see the Battle Pass points? Battle Pass points used to be called Battle Pass tokens. You get 7 Battle Pass points for a victory and 5 Battle Pass points if you're in the top 10 of XP earned on a victory. If you got defeated, you'll get 5 Battle Pass points for a defeat. 3 Battle Pass points if you're in the top 10. It's complicated. In other words, pick a tank, grind it, try to win. If you don't win, you get the points anyway. You get more points if you win. Okay, there's no need to go cheating, no need to go do any of the bullshit. Just go there, have fun, grind your tanks, and do your best. That's all anybody asks. And for the love of God, please do not stoop to the level of all the jerks in this game and cheat. It's not worth it. So many jerks in this game decide they want to take the cheap and easy way out and just dump hundreds of thousands of dollars in this game. Of course, you want them to spend money in this game because the game's free. Want to spend money in this game? Spend money on this. Premium tanks. Spend money on this. Spend money on all these. Okay? These are premium tanks. This is what you should be spending your money on. Because some of these tanks are hard. Some of these tanks you can't get it anymore. They sold them like here. Here's selling this one here. Some of the tanks I have in the bottom there came right there. And I just bought it like that. Just out of the clear blue sky. I said, you know what? That's the country I'm currently working on. Why not? This could work. And so, that's how all this came to be. When I first started this game, I was on USA for like a week, maybe a week. Then I moved over to Germany for about 2 days. Then I decided to move over to Soviet Union, in other words, USSR. And I've been there ever since. Of course, I still have some of the other countries in there. I'm mostly Soviets. So for 13 years straight, I've been grinding the Soviet Union. And of course, whatever money I spent on premium tanks. Why? Because I don't know. Because I felt like it. When I first started this game, I started playing USA. By the time I got to tier 5, I didn't like the tanks. I didn't feel that the tanks really had the fun aspect I was looking for. Yes, they were competitive. Yes. To me, they were not fun. USA was not fun. The tanks were not fun in my eyes. In other words, they didn't have a challenge that I was looking for. At the time when I first started this game, I was looking for a challenge. And this was not a challenge. Some of the tanks were absolutely one-shot kills. And I was like, where's the fun in this? I mean, to me, what's the fun in just not even aiming, just pointing a gun and killing somebody instantly? Where's the fun in that? The fun is in the challenge. I enjoy a challenge. So I picked the country that gave me the biggest challenge. This country, because it has the most tanks, it has the most tanks to grind, plus has a lot of weak spots. So the idea of grinding all these tanks is absolutely absurd. There's so many trees to worry about. But I didn't care. I have every single tank grinded up to tier 8. Up to tier 8 is completely done. Every tier 8 tank in Soviet Union is done. Tier 9, I have a few I need to work on. This one, this one, this one, and that one. Today we're going to talk about heavy tanks. So I'm going to show you guys all the heavy tanks I have for the Soviet Union that I currently need to work on. So let's get started. Okay, now we already went over tank destroyers and what their purpose was. Now we went over a little bit of water here. We already went over tank destroyers and what their purpose is. Now I believe we went over lights and mediums, what their purpose was. The reason why I did tank destroyers first is because I wanted to show you guys what the main job a tank destroyer does and does not do. There's only 2 tanks that have one job. A tank destroyer and an artillery. The tank destroyer can be a multi-role tank, but it's complicated. So I saved it for the first video because I wanted to get the complicated tank over with. Heavies are self-explanatory. They're big, they're heavy, they're very slow. So you're going to take the shortest route to the enemy flag. Make sure you travel with the rest of the heavies. Or in this case, if the top tier tanks are mediums, the rest travel with the rest of the top tier tanks. If you're top tier or mid tier, travel with the top tier heavies. And you are going to assault enemy flag and try to capture it. That is a heavy tank's goal. If a heavy tank is low tier, all the way on the bottom, then your goal switches roles. I'm going to play a tank that tends to get a low ranking, that often gets a low ranking. So it's not top tier all the time. And I'm going to show you guys how to do a heavy in low tier. For now, we are going to run a tier 10 IS7, which for the most part gets, in my opinion, I've only gotten mid tier with this tank. Once in a blue moon, I will get close to top tier. I've never gotten a top tier. Maybe this time will be different. Now, you have to really excuse my brain tonight. My gameplay is not going to be perfect. It's not going to be good at all because my brain's just absolutely... I'm falling apart tonight. We'll leave it at that. Okay. First, before we go out, we're going to check our equipment and our ammo. Make sure we're all good to go. Check your ammo storage. Make sure everything's filled up. Make sure you have the right ammo in. Okay. Now, ammunition I currently have in is the very expensive ammo. And there I'll tell you the reason why I have the expensive ammo in here. When this tank gets destroyed, it costs a lot of money to fix. A lot. And you're not just going to duck out and go back in. When you're playing a tier 10 tank, you stick around until the end of the game. Always. When you play a tier 10 tank, you never leave the game unless it's over. You do that out of respect for the team. You assist the other team as best as you can. Help them out. Just do your best to assist them. If they need help, if you know something they don't know, make sure they know. Now, the penetration of the gold rand is 303. The penetration of a standard rand is 250. The damage is the same. Now, I'm spending, let's see, 3,000 credits more per shot to get 100, literally 100 more penetration points. Basically, that means that I'm going to be switching back and forth from HE rounds and gold rounds. I'm going to switching back and forth from these to these. I'm going back and forth, flip-flopping. I'm going to start the game off with HE rounds. If I see that I'm completely top tier, we're talking the best tank, I'll stay with HE rounds. If I'm not top tier, one below, I'll keep what I have right here. The only time I'll use these is if I really don't want to spend the money. if I'm afraid to spend the extra money, if the game is going horribly, and there's absolutely nothing I can do, and if, for example, if I'm playing the game correctly and everybody else is screwing it up, I'm afraid that we're gonna lose. I will immediately switch to this and use all these I have left. Save credits. If the game is a wash, save your money. So, what we could do is, we could do this. Okay, we could do this. When the game starts, we'll start out with AP rounds. 10. We can switch over to special rounds if we need to. If we're absolute bottom tier, which is rare for IS-7 to be bottom tier, but if we are, we have HG just in case. If we can't put a dent in them, which is rare, we have HE. We can do something. These are only to be used if you absolutely positively cannot hit them. You normally use these. If you really want to penetrate them, but you can't remember where the weak spots are, use these. If you know a tank's weak spots, for sure, use this. If you know the weak spots and it's not penetrating, use that. Aim that a weak spot, it's guaranteed hit. Even if it does 1 damage, you're guaranteed to damage them. Guaranteed. This is almost guaranteed a penetration. Which is the reason why it costs so much per shot. You're guaranteed a penetration. These are technically cheating. You're guaranteed a penetration. According to the game, they don't tell you this, but you're guaranteed a penetration for this with this shell. Guaranteed. I'm dead serious. There's a reason why these shells used to cost gold. This is why. Because they're cheap. Everybody hates people who play these. When you fired a gold round at somebody, there used to be a glint. A small glint that went off when it hit the armor. That was an indicator saying someone hit you with a gold round. They used to do that back in the old days. They stopped doing that. I personally think they should bring that back, because that was a really good way of telling whether somebody was playing cheap or somebody was actually doing the right thing. But now you can't tell. They must have taken that away. Anyway, this is how you work things with a tier 10. Tier 10 usually does not see a lot of... If it's only tier 10, you could see bottom tier. Which is the reason why I had this up front. because it is a distinct possibility. If this tank had preferred matchmaking, which heavy tanks tend to have preferred matchmaking, some heavies have preferred matchmaking. Depends on what they are. Preferred matchmaking is a very old thing they used to have back in the old days. A lot of the old tanks were given preferred matchmaking. Now, whether the game decided to take it away or not, all depends. I don't play this tank a lot. When I do, I'm usually close to the top, but not at the top. So I don't think it has preferred matchmaking, but I do think that it's close to being preferred. Let me show you guys. When you're playing a tier 10 tank, I can't show you guys the costs. Let me see, hold on. Duck out. Come on. I can't. See now, I can't show you guys. No, I can't show you guys. I wanted to show you guys how much it would cost. I'll show you guys at the end of the match. I'll have the breakdown on how much it costs. I'm going to show you guys at the end of this match. I'm going to do my best in this match and try not to talk to you guys and try and concentrate. Concentrating on anything while I'm in the state I'm in right now is very difficult. Man, I'm telling you. Focus. Okay, here we go. Thank God tier 10s take a while. Gives me a chance for my brain to compile the information. Oh my God. I need a booster. This is not gonna work. I need a booster. I need a brain booster. This ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work. I'm gonna need help. Man, I'm telling you. Hard to find a game in tier 10. I think it's the SPGs. That's why. We have more medium tanks? That's odd. I'm trying to open this thing. Well, that was lame. Opened up half of it. That was really lame. Protein. Can't stand tier 10 battles. The battle queue in tier 10 battles is so long because most of the people are new. a lot of veterans like me most of the veterans like me have been playing for so long that we don't want to play the tier 10s because they cost so much money to play. At the end of the round, I'm going to show you why people don't play tier 10s that often. And why it's taking so long to find a game. It's taking 4 minutes to find one game. Normally tier 5 to 8 takes like 3 seconds. Oh, trust me, we're gonna go there. I'm gonna show you guys the difference between high tiers and low tiers. We're at the last tier right now. This is how long it takes for the queues usually in a tier 10 battle. So just chill out. Maximum time in queue for battle has expired. Select another vehicle or try again later. Not enough people are playing tier 10s. You see, in a tier 10 battle, the matchmaker does not want to mix 8, 9, and 10. Like the game. Let me pick another tank and I'll show you guys what I mean. Instead of explaining, I'm gonna just show you. Okay. Tier 8. Okay, guys. Tier 8. You see that, right? Watch how fast this is. Watch. Ready? Watch this timer. 4 minutes. 4 minutes and it timed out. It wouldn't take a battle. Now watch the timer and watch how fast this will pop up. Heavy tanks are harder to find in battle. Heavy tanks are a lot harder because most people play heavies. Then they give up, they leave, and immediately jump in another tank. If it takes too long. See, there's 48 heavies in there. Now there's 24. They left the queue, selected a different tank. So the name of the game is to select a tank that they have less of, which is good because that's the reason why you want to play. That's the reason why I went over every single tank in this game, because I want you guys to see the difference between the tanks, the way they play, and the way you go into play. When we did tank destroyers, it didn't take us long at all. Now when we did light tanks, it was almost instantaneous. When we were looking for a game for a medium tank, No problem, like a minute and a half. Heavies taking forever. Why? Because more people play heavies. Of course, there was 48 people in the queue. The matchmaker puked. It couldn't handle it. Because in this matchmaking, the matchmaker in this game has to have an even amount of heavies, mediums, tank destroyers, light tanks, and SPGs. If they don't have an even amount, no mas. They immediately go to other tiers, which is what we got here. We got 8, 9, and 10, right? That's the reason why we timed out. Because we're trying to find a tier 10 only battle. But there was none. And also was no battles that were capable of handling 8, 9, and 10 because they weren't queuing yet. So if we left the battle queue and jumped back in, we would have gotten a battle, I guarantee you. When you're playing, if you ever decide to grind heavies, just remember this. If the queue is 2 minutes, duck out of the queue, get a drink, chill, come back, try again. Do not sit in the queue and wait. That is the absolute worst thing you can do. I'm going to repeat this one more time. Do not sit in queue and wait. Duck out, try another tank, go get a drink, go to the bathroom, do whatever you gotta do. Do not sit there like a jackass and wait. That's the absolute worst thing you could possibly do. Now this tank, although it's a heavy, has a distinct disadvantage. Can you guys tell me in the comments below what the disadvantage of this tank would be? Now, you would think that this would be the front of the tank. This would be better, right? It would be much better if this was the front of the tank. Guess what? It's not. This is the front of the tank. So now, which means I have to tilt this thing backwards. Technically, I should tilt this thing backwards. This is something that I would not recommend for normal players. See, now he has nothing to aim at because all he has is a gun. I'm not going to aim my gun. Maneuvering a tank when the chassis is backwards, very difficult. For some reason I just can't secure a hit. Let me try the HE armor. Let me try the AP armor. See if I can get a hit there. I have HE running. I figured I have no trouble, but... Fuck, man. Absolute bullshit. I gotta help these guys out. It's ridiculous. Nope, this is not working. More and more tanks are sneaking over there. Gotta get over there. Oh, Dianabla, go! Come on, catch me a break here. He fucking moved. Oh, screw you, I'm not getting hit by you. Yeah, I see him. I see him. I know. Thanks. I know, I see him. I also have these guys over here I have to worry about. Yep, here we go. Oh, come on! See that? High explosive anti-tank. You know what that is? That's what we call a gold round. They use a gold round on a mid-tier tank. Mid-tier. I'm a mid-tier tank. They blew a gold round on a mid-tier tank. And my team is probably going to blame me for dying? Right. Should I dare rate the battle experience? I should, shouldn't I? I should say it sucked. Maybe I'm just gonna say no. Maybe I'll just see how. Well, maybe we'll just see how the rest of the team is doing. What's he doing? Let's see. Well, he's chilling over here doing nothing. Finally, he realizes, holy shit! Where's the rest of the team? If he had helped them, then maybe it would have been fine. Next person. Not much a light can do. So right off the bat, he's screwed. Not much he can do. All he can do is shoot and run. That's it. Light tanks can't do much. Even though light tanks are top tier, if light tank is top tier, they're still low armored. Not much they can do. All you can do is head to the enemy base and do your best to cap that son of a bitch before they do. Now, tank destroyers. We went over first in the first video about tank destroyers. Do not get in their line of sight. And 80% of tank destroyers do not have a turret. What did he just do? He ran in front of a tank destroyer. Never do that. You have to try and sneak up behind them, and you have to force the tank destroyer to move its hull. If the tank destroyer is forced to move its hull, you will get shots on it every single time, and you will end up killing that damn thing after a while. And you just run circles around him, and eventually he'll have to die. Now let's check on this tier 9 and see how he's doing. The big kid on the block crashes and burns by a tier 10. Even the big boys get their butts kicked. Aren't we glad that we never got in our tier 10 battle? Because our tier 10's got the ass handed to them. Don't look forward. Don't ever look forward to getting a tier 10. What you just saw on my screen is why. Now, let's go over the report. We gained 4,000 credits. It cost us 11,000 to repair the tank. Then, we didn't use any gold rounds. We only used standard rounds, so it cost us 6,000. It cost us 13,000 to play that game. We only earned 4,000. We lost money. We lost money. Welcome to the wonderful world of heavy tanks. This is what you have to look forward to, ladies and gentlemen. The detailed report never lies. There's no such thing as grinding up a storm, because you will lose money every single time. Granted, I did my best. The other team was, to be honest with you, the other team was being jackasses. There's really nothing much we can do. So, there's really nothing much you can do. Now let's try to find another tank. It doesn't matter what's here. Try to find another heavy tank. Now, heavy tanks are slow, cumbersome, well armored, but still have the weak spots. And I'll show you one example of weak spots. Let me see. Heavy tanks, weak spots. Let's find a good one here. Find a really juicy one that has some really big weak spots. Heavies? Heavies. Yep. Let's try this. Because we really want the KV in here. No. This is a more modern KV. More modern KV has a more reinforced gas tank, which is right here. And here. The old-fashioned gas tanks, the ones with the old-fashioned gas tanks are right here. This is the old-fashioned KV. Now, this tank has a lot of weak spots. This is heavy. Now let's take a look at the chart first. There's one. Slot's fine. The entire underbelly has thin armor. Right here has thin armor. There's one. There's two. That's a periscope. That don't count. Okay. Here's a big one. See that? That's a window. That's a window. Very clearly a window. There's number 2. And number 3 is right there. 3. And look what we have here. 4, 5, 6. These are fuel tanks. 1 HE shot at this fuel tank. Pop. Pop goes the weasel. 1 HE round at these fuel tanks. The whole thing goes up in flames. This was the dumbest thing they could ever do in those tanks back in the old days. They put fuel tanks wide out in the open, right there. Now, people in this game always try to shoot the front. They never go for the obvious spots, obviously. But they're here. 3 here. 2 here. You can also aim HE shots right here. Do not aim for here. This is very, very, very thick. This is extremely thick. Because this is supposed to be towing. This has the 2 hooks. This has the 2 tow loops. So this can tow something if need be. This also can be towed. It has the tow ropes. See? So, although this is pretty thick, the reason why it's thick is because it has tow ropes. Normally on a tank, you wouldn't see this. Now, because there has tow ropes here, I'm assuming that this is extremely thick and very durable. It doesn't have armor, but it has a lot of steel backing this up. When you look at a tank, you have to look at the tank very carefully and study it and figure out if there's any slots, weak spots, holes, portholes, place where the crew comes out of. Any place that artillery might look for. In the next video, we're going to go over artillery. Not this one. I'm going to show you the best places to this tank if you're on artillery. If you do, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. If you're on artillery, you're looking at this tank. People always aim for the middle of the tank. Always. Wrong. If you're an artillery piece, you'll want to aim for the engine. Where's the engine in a tank? Engine's always in the back. Aim for what the engine is. If the engine breaks, the tank won't move. They'll give you a chance. It'll give the crew a chance to fix it, and will give you a chance to reload. By the time you reload, they'll have the engine repaired. And you can fire at that engine again. And you're going to keep hitting the engine until they give up repairing it. Then you go for the kill shot, which is those exposed fuel tanks right there. So aim, what you do is, when you aim artillery, always assume the artillery is always going to spread. Okay? So, when you aim an artillery shot, you aim for here. Now, what really happens is an artillery aims for here, it penetrates here, but then the blast wave spreads out. And the blast wave spreading out, where's it going to go? Here and here. And what's there? Fuel tanks. Here and here. One well-aimed artillery shot right here with the largest. Use artillery shell with the largest blast radius. Make sure the artillery shell you're using has the widest blast radius, and you're guaranteed to both fuel tanks and damage the engine, making the entire tank explode in one shot. That's why you have to know your enemy, know the tanks, and know the weak spots. Now remember, tanks from on top and on bottom have the least amount of armor. The most armor the thickest armor is right here. Thickest is right here. Thinnest is right there. Any tank, I don't care what year, what it is, what country it is. Thickest is here. Thinnest is right here. The weakest spot, the slots where the crew looks out of, fuel tanks, and ammo storage. Ammo storage and reload spots. Ammo storage is guaranteed where the blast doors are. See these right here? Those are called blast doors. Ammunition is stored in the turret. Tank 101. Ready? You have the gun right here. Okay, guys? This has an auto reloader, which means there's a box right in front of the gun, which is right there. Gun, auto reloader, cartridge, right? 2 portholes where the crew comes out of. You have the loader and the gunner. Loader has a big door, sliding door, okay? Opens up the sliding door. Now, if the Soviets were smart, they would put a blast-proof door. He would have to open every time to get the ammo he needs to load the cartridges. Because this is an autoloader, when the cartridge is getting low, they'll let him know. He'll get the door open and get the ammo ready. As soon as the cartridge is empty, pop the cartridge out and he'll start loading the cartridge up with shells from the extra ammo storage here. So if you really want to do some damage, aim for the back of the turret See those? Those are blast panels. Ammo is stored there. Aim here from the back. If you ever have to hit in the back, aim for here or aim for here. Okay, guys? Or here or here. Those are small targets. That's a big target right there. And there's ammunition behind there. How do I know this? Those are blast doors. Ammunition is stored there. So naturally you want to aim for the blast doors because you know ammo is stored there. Engine is right here. So if you aim an armor piercing shot right here, you will hit and damage the engine. Okay? You will damage the engine, slowing them, if not stopping them dead in their tracks until they fix it. They'll give you time to get another shot either at the fuel tank or the ammunition. HE, switch to AP, and aim right for this, right here. One goes through, then switch to HE, aim for the same exact hole that you went through. It'll go right through, tank will explode. A very difficult shot to pull off, but if you could do it, you'll get ace tanker badge. You'll get an ace tanker badge for it. If you're able to do that, you'll get ace tanker for it. Because that's to aim and shoot at the same hole you penetrated is very hard. Very hard. I've tried many times. The best way to get the same shot in the same place in the game, you have to understand, in the game they have what's called aiming reticule. Let me show you guys something. Training center, no, of course. When you're new, go there. Okay, where is it? Alright, no, that's not what it's that fire indicator. Okay. Now, when you're aiming, they're gonna have this thing right here. When you move the turret, this is gonna be bigger. Okay? You're gonna wait till this circle gets right around this crosshair right here. When the circle is right around this crosshair, fire. Any larger than that, do not shoot. The circle is where the bullet's gonna go. Okay? Smaller the circle, more concentrated the shot will be. The least likely you will be off target. If you don't care, if you know you're gonna die, just take random pot shots. Hope to God it hits. But these are what's called the reload timers. It'll start here, it'll end up here. When the shell's reloaded, it'll go all the way down there. Okay, what the hell just happened? I'm explaining something and the screen goes off. Okay, that was the weirdest fucking thing. I have no idea what that was. It's fine, whatever. Alright, this is your reload, which I already explained. Now, if you have an autoloader, which means you have a cartridge. This will tell you how many bullets, how many shells are in that cartridge. When that cartridge is empty, there'll be nothing there, which means the loader needs to remove the cartridge and load the shells into the cartridge, then load the cartridge into the tank gun. Then the gunner can then shoot. So the loading process is faster because you don't need to, you get more shots to deal with. It's just shoot, load, shoot, load. When the cartridge is empty, then the manual loading begins, and it's twice as slow. It's quicker just to say, well, okay, how about we fire one shot, you load the gun. Okay. A gunner, then you have one gunner and two loaders. This is why you have two loaders. Ready? Pop. The gun is fired. The first loader closest to the gun calls for a shell. Second loader pulls the shell out of the containers and brings it over to the second loader. That loader hands over to the first loader. First loader puts it into the gun, loads the gun, then calls back for another shell. He goes, gets the shell, gets to the first loader. By the time he does that, the gun's empty again, and then he loads it. That's how it is to have two loaders. Heavy tanks sometimes will have two loaders because it's quicker. Instead of running to go get the shell and loading it into the gun, they're one getting the shell, handing it off to another one, the other one loads the gun. Kind of like an assembly line. But that means you're going to have more people in the turret, which means the turret has to be bigger, which means ammunition has to be in the turret, which makes that tank very, very vulnerable. Heavy tanks are not, any tank is not perfect as long as you know where to hit. This has nothing to do with the game. This has to do with real life. As far as real life goes, that's the way things go. As far as this game goes, people just spend hundreds and thousands of dollars. People spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on this game all the time. Honestly, it's bull. It's complete, absolute, and utter bull. Okay. This allows you to change how the game looks and how you will actually decipher what these lines and colors actually do mean. Now this allows you to see, this allows you to enable and disable certain aspects of the game. You can turn each and every one of them on and off if you want to. Now, if you don't want to chat with your teammates, you can disable that. Just check this, and you are not, and then you won't be allowed to chat with your team. You'll just be allowed. You'll just enjoy the game for what it is. Nobody will be chatting to you. You can censor offensive words in chat. Hide spam. Display the date and messages in case you want to get pictures. Display time messages again in case you want to get pictures, in case something's being inappropriate. Okay, post-mortem mode. After you're dead, what do you want to see after you're dead? Do you want to see the moment your vehicle was destroyed? A detailed version of how your vehicle was destroyed? Or do you want to see a short version of how your vehicle was destroyed? Or do you want them to show you the enemy vehicle that destroyed your vehicle? Or just sit, or just have what, or do you just want to see your vehicle destroyed? That's it. You tell the game what you want to see and what you don't want to see after you die. You can do that here in post-mortem mode. Okay, dynamic cameras. Okay. There's some new stuff. I don't know what it is. We're gonna find out together what things are new here. Cause I don't even know. Filters. This is new. They have filters now? It's okay. I think it's fine, just the way it is. We all know, okay, well, you guys know as well as I know, that's new. You can do whatever you want to that. Some people, their monitors don't. Some people, their monitors are not showing it right. This is your opportunity to correct that. Just simply go into that, select it, and decide which one looks better for your monitor. So I have a television. I don't have a monitor. I don't have a monitor, so to speak. I have a television. So naturally mine's going to display fine. Now, you may not see the symbol. I can. So now what you're going to do is you're going to move it until you see, obviously see a full clear symbol right there. See, from my eyes, I can see it clear as day. From yours, you do not. Why? Because I'm screen capturing it. That's why. But you should see a symbol right there, clear as day with a blue background. That's what you should see. Battle notification says something is new. This I'm very curious of. What could be new? I don't know. Fire direction indicators. Battle events. I don't see anything new. Apparently there's new stuff here. For some reason, I just don't see it. Odd. See, now, we are on the South American server. See that? I don't know why, but for some reason we are on the South American server. You can switch servers if you want to. You can switch servers at any time just by doing that. For some odd reason, I got moved over to the South American server, and I don't seem to know why. It happens. Now, if you get poor games, you can do that. U.S. Central. Okay, now we're on the right server. Now we should see a little bit more action. Should see a lot more of my friends on too. Not much. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take this out. And for what I explained to you guys before about the back being very vulnerable, I'm going to try and do my best to keep it hauled down. In other words, keep this covered and force them to shoot this without this and this attracting too much attention. This is probably one of the hardest. The KV-1 is one of the hardest tanks to play for this reason, because the front has vulnerabilities here, 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 and here. Side, here, here, rear, here, here, and here, and here. So, even though it's a big, heavy tank, it's extremely vulnerable. Why? Because of the vulnerable spots. The spots that cannot be covered, cannot be helped. It's part of the build of the tank. is what keeps the tank running smooth. A tank needs a tank engine needs breathable air. If an engine overheats, you're in trouble. Especially the fact that most tanks use diesel fuel. And diesel fuel needs air. You need air coming in order for the engine to run smoothly. Now, this, my guess, is the air vent. This is the oxygen that comes into the tank. Okay, now, in reality, the air vent should be in the front. Because when you move, fresh air comes into the front. It would come into the front and cool the engine. But if you put this in the front, right here, someone's just going to pop a shot right in there. Now there's something that's really stupid. That defeats the purpose of having a tank. The purpose of having a tank is to be protected. So you have to put the engine in the back and the vents in the back. Which means this tank is vulnerable from the back. Very vulnerable. So they have the engine, the ammo storage blow doors are back here, fuel tanks, and also the exhaust. There's also the intake. This is also the exhaust. Which means that artillery would have popped a shot right here, they'd break the engine. If you see exhaust pipes right here, you know for a fact that there's an engine right here. It's a dead giveaway, guys. It's a total dead giveaway. Right here is two obvious exhaust ports right here. When you're driving, big, huge clouds of black smoke are gonna belch right out of these two outputs right here. Which means there's a really big diesel engine right here, which means there's diesel fuel in these canisters. All these canisters have diesel fuel. So these canisters are meant to fuel this engine right here, which belches out black smoke here, which has an air intake right there. So the business end of this tank is in the back. No people back here. You're going to have the loader here. You're going to have the gunner here. You're going to have the driver here. You're going to have the commander here. Radio man is going to be behind the driver. Like right. Radio man is going to be like right behind the commander, so to speak. Like right here, so to speak, would be the radio man. So if you really want to kill the crew, HE shot, excuse me, HE shot, if you want to kill the crew in this tank, HE shot right there, you'll kill the crew. You'll at least try to kill the crew. Okay, guys? HE shot here, HE shot here. Okay? You'll try to kill the crew, at least. Try to. If you want to blow the tracks out and slow them down, shoot here, and both tracks will blow out. crew will have to exit the tank in all the output areas there. They'll have to exit the tank out of here. There. And over. I think that's it. They'll have to exit the tank. Grab the extra links they have right here. Take them off. Put the extra link on. Bring the track back up. Connect it with the extra link. Get back in the tank and get going. So repairing the track, the entire crew, except for the commander, has to get out of the tank and physically repair the track. The entire crew. That's just the way things go. Very complicated process. That's mainly the reason why a tank is very difficult to play. Because tanks are vulnerable. Tanks have vulnerabilities. When you're in battle, normal battles, you don't see the vulnerabilities because you don't see details on the tanks. For example, when you're in real life, you don't see you don't know the details. You don't sit there and study all the enemy's tanks like all these jackasses that play this game more than fun. That's what they do. They spend their entire life studying all of these tanks so they know where to hit them. You think these people in real life are going to do that? No, they're going to jump in the tank and they're going to try and do the best they can and try to stay alive. That's the way things go in war. In war, people do the best they can, and that's it. Okay, we are upper mid-tier, so we could probably switch to the, when the canister empties, we will successfully switch AP rounds. Okay, now we have, the cartridge is almost full. Okay, we have full cartridge. Okay, guys, cartridge is full. Now, this is what that means. This is an auto loader. Okay, guys, which means that the second loader, first loader pulled the cartridge out, dropped it on the floor. Second loader immediately grabbed the shells, started loading them in the cartridge. Then the two of them picked up the cartridge and loaded it into the gun. That's what it's like having loaders. If you have one loader, two loaders is a lot easier than having one. So, we have... Oh, shit. It's going to be a 2-on-1. Oh, fuck. Now the 3? The 3-on-1? This is fun. Absolute fucking bullshit. See that right there? He shot at my on. Catch me a break here.
Повреждение гусеницы. Броня не пробита.
Ah,
Машина
fuck
уничтожена.
me. Damn it. See where he aimed? He aimed. He aimed. He aimed right there, which means he hit the fuel tank. Fuel tank exploded. Blew the other fuel tanks up. Engine exploded. See? And the blow hatch is open. And of course, see, the crew guys, well, the crew obviously got it. The crew obviously escaped. So, ammunition was not hit. That's a good thing. It didn't hit the ammunition. So now we know. Now we know. I told you, heavy tanks are not invulnerable. Heavy tanks have weak spots. Yes, they're slow. Yes, they have big guns. But the weaknesses in every tank outweigh the benefits. Once you know what those weaknesses are, you'll know what to look for. The problem is that this game doesn't allow you to fight using your strengths. For example, if we were to go through this with our tank, because our air vent is so low in the back, we'd probably drown our engine. See, his vent is higher up. See that? His vent is so high up. Ours is in the middle of the tank. His is up high. See? His tank is a lot different than ours. So if he would have waded through water, he would have no trouble. See? See, the entire thing is not belching out smoke. Half of it is taking in air, other half is belching air out. It's kind of a more efficient way of dealing with it. Plus, it enables the tank to go through water. Most tanks can only shallow water. They can go through deep water, which is different. These are not game mechanics. These are obvious mechanics. These are basic mechanics that you should look for. Now, we can't see what happened to his tank. Let's take a look at his tank. The crew escaped out of the turret. We know that. That's what those holes on the top are for. Now the two holes in the front. Probably the commander and the gunner's hatch. Odd place for a hatch. Engine toasted, that's for sure. Where did he pen? That's the hard part. I'm trying to figure out where he died. I actually don't know. I don't see any obvious holes. I was guessing that maybe you got hit. In the front. Somewhere. But I was thinking maybe you got hit in the front somewhere, but could be wrong. Good game. No one cheated. I'd say to any game nobody cheats is a good game. Now, we earned 4,000 credits, okay? It cost 3,000 to repair the tank. 220 for ammunition. Total, we earned 963 credits. Not much, considering this is a premium tank. You're guaranteed to gain. All premium tanks are guaranteed more credits per battle. Guaranteed more credits per battle. And are guaranteed more experience per battle. Let's break this down. I fired a total of 4 shots. All 4 shots were direct hits and penetrations. All 4 shots were direct hits. None penetrated. 3 out of those 4 did splash damage, which means we had an explosive shell. We didn't use AP rounds. That was my mistake. I didn't prioritize the AP rounds. We got 5 penetration hits in us. We only blocked 2 shots, which means they hit us from behind. Remember I told you the back of that tank is the weakest spot? And the guy who killed us was from behind? 5 of his shots. He pumped 5 shots. He pumped 8 shots into my rear. He must have had an autoloader like I did. At 8 of those shots, 5 were penetrating shots. I only blocked 3 shots. That's it. Now, before we went into the battle, I tried to explain to you guys the weakest part of this tank is the back. And sure enough, where did we get shot and killed? In the back. Why? Because I told you, the back is the weakest part of the tank. He didn't know about this. He also didn't know about this. He saw these. He went right for these. Now, you can hit them from the front. See? But they're harder to hit. From the back. Oh, they're easy as hell. He hit this. It exploded. Blew the engine. My tank went up like a Roman candle. That's what happened. And I told you guys, before we started this match, I told you that was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. This tank is very vulnerable from the rear. It's cool because it has an oil loader. But what good is the oil loader if it won't stay alive? This is what's called Russian engineering. The tank looks cool. Every tank looks cool. But just because the tank looks cool, it don't mean it is cool. Take the KV-5 for example. That gigantic turret. I mean, holy shit. The only time we ever saw a turret that big was with the KV-2. That's the only time I ever saw a turret that big. That's insane. And where is my KV-2? Here it is. This is the only time I ever saw a turret that big. I mean, it's... Honestly, what I think the KV-5 is, I think KV-5 is a KV-2 turret. I think the KV-5 was supposed to replace the KV-2. But instead of having that really good gun with the really good ammo, the KV-5 had that lame ass gun on it. What the hell is my KV-5? Here it is. Instead of having that really good gun, they put that really lame 122, I bet. I bet this is a 122mm. Let's check. No, it's worse. It's a 107. This is the 107. This gun is lame. And I'll tell you why. Let's look at the tier 3s, shall we? Let's see how the 103 sizes up. Tier 8. The KV-5 is a tier 8, correct? Do you see 103 here? 103, 122, 122, 122, 100. I don't see a 103. Let's go back. Go back to the IS. 85, 85, 100, 122, 122. Again, no 103. What's going on? It's a very odd gun. I've never... You don't really see this gun a lot. It's a very odd gun. I will tell you that. Let's keep trying. Let's take a look. See if we can solve this problem. Let's see. This is a 122. So, back to the drawing board. Let's see. Let's try KV-4. This is KV-4. This should have a 103. We have close. We have a tier 9 107. Which means the 103 is a tier 8 gun. The 103 is 107 is the upgrade for the 103. Okay? 103 is the predecessor for this. This is the gun that came after the 103. But check this. This is a tier 8. Tier 8 normal tank. Not a premium. Normal tank. Okay? So this has a better gun. And it's a tier tank. Watch this. Now let's go back into the KV5. No. They stopped making the KV5? Get out. You mean to tell me the KV5 is actually a rare tank? Shit. It's insane. Okay. 107. I thought it was a 103. I guess I'm a dumbass. Okay, well, in that case, KV4 is a tier 8 tank. KV4 is a tier 8 tank. Okay, guys? Now that tier 8 tank is a is a little hard to get to because you have to go through all those tanks to get to it. If you're new to this game, you want to go right up to the big boy, see how it is. You shell out a couple of hundred gold and pick up a KV5, and you are gonna get a tier 8 gun. That is the gun that's on the KV4 tier 8. This is the same gun that's on the KV4's tier 8. Of course, the gun is a rifled barrel. How do I know this? Lines? That means it's rifled. Inside of a barrel has lines inside of it. That means it's a rifled barrel. Which means the shots go out easier. No chance of jamming. Rifled barrels are always better. So this 107 is a very, very good gun. The turret, I don't understand why they would have a turret like this. I don't quite understand the mentality. I mean, is it well armored? I don't know. I don't know anything about this tank. All I know is that exhaust for the engine is right here. Only good part about this is it's on the sides. So you can't just take pot shots at the exhaust. And you can't take pot shots at the gas tanks either. When they made the KV5, it's almost like they solved all the... It's almost like they decided, you know what? We messed up big time. Let's fix our problems now. All the problems I explained to you, it looks to me like they solved all the problems. We got right here. This belches out the smoke. These are the intake fans right here for the engine. This belches out the smoke right here. Engine is right here. Those are the two ports that you open up to work on the engine. Now, there is an air vent right here, but you can't shoot at it from any other point of view other than artillery. If you're an artilleryman, you're instantly going to go for this. But there's no crew there. It's just an engine. And the gasoline is in these armored containers. And these containers are armored. That's why they're flat. The Soviets learned from their mistakes for the original KV-1. So they have armored fuel tanks now. So no more aiming for the fuel tank. Now they're armored. There's armor on that fuel tank. Now that we know the engine is more well protected in the back, the rear of the tank is more secure. Granted, little tiny fuel tank spot right there, but that's armor. That's not bare metal. That's armor. Not thick armor, but that's armor nonetheless. So you would aim right for it. It wouldn't hit right away. You're better off aiming areas like this. Or, well, there's tow ropes here. So the lower glacis would not be a good idea because of tow ropes here. Because of tow ropes, that means that this lower glacis metal is really thick and very durable because it's able to pull another tank. Because if you ever see this on the bottom glacis of a tank, don't assume lower glacis is a weak spot, because they wouldn't have this here if it was a weak spot. This is a really thick piece of metal right here. This is very thick, and this is very thick. The weak spot in this tank is going to be the turret. Guaranteed it's going to be the turret. The bottom is going to be the strongest part of the tank. And obviously the top is obviously a dead giveaway. It's just there. I mean, you can't miss it. Now, knowing what I told you, let's take it for a spin. Let's see how correct I really am. We're not going to purposely get ourselves killed, but we'll leave ourselves out in the open here and there. We'll try to bait people and we'll try not to go hull down. Keep in mind that lower chassis is still a KV-1. It doesn't matter whether it says KV-5, it's still a KV-1 chassis. Whether they chose to up the armor or not is up to them. So we have to assume KV-5 there's a lot more armor here. So now that we know that we have the same gun as the KV-4, now we know that we see a KV-4 on the other side, which we do not. KV-4 is instantly going to do the same amount of damage as us. Unless the KV-4 upgrades their gun to the 122. If the KV-4 upgrades their gun to the 122, then they will have better gun and better ammo. If they stay with the standard stock gun, they'll be exactly even to us. Okay, we've been spotted. by an artillery? This is too good to be true. Too good to be true. Get out. You need to tell me an artillery? Insane. I think, yeah, I think we've been spotted over there. Technically we're on defense. We shouldn't be doing this, but I'm trying to prove a point. Trying to prove a point that if they're going to shoot someplace, they're going to shoot. If they're going to kill me, they're going to kill me right there in the turret. They're getting hit. Probably in the turret, I guarantee you. Not getting killed anyplace else but the turret. Alright, let's give it a check. Hull's fine. Yep, what'd I tell you? See that? One shot in the turret. One clear shot in the turret. Right there. Which means it could have damaged the ammo. Now let's check the treads. The treads were damaged. They weren't blown off, they were damaged. So, okay. So now, remember I told you guys the turret in this tank was the weakest spot? Well, there's proof. They didn't aim for the hull at all. All they aimed was to hit the tracks. They did not. Flag. We gotta go back to the flag. Yeah, I know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't somebody in? Oh, there's him. Okay. I don't see an M3Y. I'm getting out of the way. Obviously we have a sniper, so. Hello, moron. I'm in the goddamn capture zone. How can you capture while I'm in the capture zone? As long as I'm in the capture zone, you can't cap. As long as I'm defending the capture zone, you can't cap it. It's impossible. See, I told you. That little tiny hole right there in the turret. Every time. That little hole in the turret. There's an open door right there. What they did was they shot through a hole. That bullet went through the hole and it went right to the ammo storage. That's why it blew up that quick. Ammo storage is right behind the gun. So they were really aiming, carefully aiming. So they used a normal bullet. So can't say it was a bad round. That was good game on that part. So they did what they had to do. Okay, moving on. Another tank. Show you guys an example. Now this tank, I can't stand this tank, but I'm gonna go over it anyway. You're gonna see tanks like this. Now I want to make this perfectly clear. This may look cool, but in reality, this is not cool. Granted, the fuel tanks, as you can see, are back here. That's good. In a way, that's bad. Because the only hatches that you have for the crew to get out is down here. And you have spare fuel here, fuel tanks here. So naturally, there's crew members. There's a radio man, a commander, and a driver up here. You have a gunner and a loader here in the turret. The gunner and the loader abandoned ship back here. Okay, guys? Now, the commander and the driver have to abandon ship here and here. There's two hatches. Now they cannot talk. They cannot speak to the gunner and the loader. So the four-man crew, the commander and the gunner, on the front, they're in the front of the tank. Wait, no. He's in the front of the tank. He's in the front of the tank. He's in the rear. And he's in the rear. The four-man crew is split up. You have two here and two here. If the tank is blown up, they abandon the ship here. They abandon the ship right out the back. So the gunner and the loader are safer than the commander and the they're safer than the commander and the radio man. Why is it, you ask? Because the engine is right here. So naturally, there's not going to be a lot of armor protecting the crew from the engine in case it explodes. It's going to be bare sheet metal there. But the guys in the back are not going to go through an easy job anyway. Why? Because there's fuel. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 fuel tanks in the back, plus a spare tank of fuel right next to the escape hatches. So this crew in this tank, they're dead. They're dead. They're not surviving this battle right off the bat. So whoever you put in there, consider them toasted. This is a very poorly designed tank. Extremely poor design. But the one thing I will say, the rear of the tank is stronger than the front. Now I know. I could stand corrected. Look what's in the front. Tow hooks. Now look what's in the back. Tow ropes. So this can either tow somebody or be towed. Which means that the lower glacis is very, very strong. That's how you know whether the lower glacis is strong or not. If you see these things and not bare metal, that lower glacis is going to be very, very, very strong. So naturally the front here is going to be weak. That's strong. This is strong. Turret ring gonna be very weak. That little hole, vulnerable spot right there. That slot, that's the vulnerable spot right there. Naturally from above, you're going to want to hit here, 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 or here, here. If you're an artillery, you're going to want to hit either one of these spots here, or either of these spots here. Artillery. Now, here's the thing. Do you want to get rid of the do you want to get rid of the radio man and the commander, or do you want to blow the entire tank up? If you want to blow the entire tank up, you're gonna want to aim for the fuel tanks, because if you blow the fuel tanks, that's gonna cook off the ammo. And the ammo storage is back here. So, obviously, there's no blow panel. The ammo storage. Which means that if the ammo cooks off, only one place to go. So, they either have two ways to escape. Here, out the turret. That's it. If the fuel kicks off, if the fuel kicks ammo off, fuel cooks off, you escape out of the hatches. If the tank gets destroyed from the front, escape out the back. There's 4 hatches. A lot of times what they'll do is they'll use, a lot of times the crew in the front will escape first. Tell them to, and radio, tell them to abandon ship. Escape first. And then the rear crew will decide, based on how the front is, they'll take a peek out of the upper ones and take a look at the tank and say, okay, we're not in a good spot, let's get out the back. A lot of times they'll have their own periscopes. Let's find the periscope if we can. Let's see. Here we go. See that? Those are periscopes right there. Those are periscopes right there. There's one right there. That's an air vent, so they can have ventilation. And these are 2 escape hatches right here. And here is a periscope for the gunner to see if there's anybody behind them. So now they have one back here too. So now they have a lot of periscopes. They have to, because the driver and the radio man can't see nothing. Radio man can't see anything. All they have are the two periscopes up here and slot right there. That's it. These guys have a lot more room to look because the turret moves. So they can look forward or back while the turret moves. So the loader could be manually cranking the turret while the gunner is looking out of those periscopes, trying to find the enemy to shoot at. He finds somebody. He tells the loader tells the radio man, "Hey, I think we've got one. He's here." That's how this tank will spot a tank and let the rest of the team know. Then the radio man will get the message, immediately send that message out. "Hey, these coordinates, this tank is right there. Send backup." That's how a four-man crew separated by an engine works together. They have a communication system, a radio, communicating between the two. So obviously they can't scream because there's a huge diesel engine separating them. They can't talk. They can barely talk over the radio. The only person with the radio to the outside is a radio man in the front. But there is a communication device that the loader can communicate with the front crew. My guess is that the loader of this tank communicates with the radio man in the front of the tank. And the loader will spot the enemies and tell the radio man where they are. And that's how this tank spots. Based off of what I can see here, that's how this tank is going to spot. If I could have sniped the shot, it would have been awesome. Clear view of something. No, can't. I tried. Okay, we have an IS coming. Apparently I've been spotted. I had no idea. This is not good.
Повреждение гусеницы. Шанс разрыва увеличен.
Not good. My tank was too slow. I couldn't get to the point where they're at right now. So I died. Now, where did he hit? He hit right. I'm guessing he hit right under. Wow, he didn't knock the tread off? Did he? No, he didn't knock the tread off. The tread snapped. So he must have penetrated. Damn, he must have... Hold on. Figure this out. He must have... This is crawled up right here. See this, guys? Right there. That means he took a shot at my track. But he missed my track. The shot ended up going behind the track and to the chassis behind the track. Penetrated instantly. Killed the crew, penetrated through the wall into the engine, and catastrophically blew the entire tank to smithereens. That's what happened. That's a very, very lucky shot he just had. That's a very lucky shot. That's a 1 in a million shot. He was attempting to blow my track off. That's what he was attempting to do. He was trying to blow my track off. But unfortunately for me, instead of blowing my track off, he missed the track and ended up penetrating the tank. He got a 1 in a million shot and penetrated the tank. So in reality, he got a pretty damn good shot. There really was. And of course, we did Jack and his friend. So, as far as damage goes, we did jack shit. Again, I told you, this tank has more weak spots than it does strengths. Why? It's a heavy. What do you expect? Half of these tanks in this game were never made for a reason. Half of these tanks only existed in blueprints for a reason. This is the reason why half of these tanks existed only in blueprints. You have to make sure you read the description of the tank before you really research it. If the tank says existed only in blueprints, it might not be worth it. The T-34, more T-34s were made than any other Soviet tank in history. That is the most manufactured and well-used Soviet tank in history. And that's a medium. The most manufactured and used Soviet heavy tank to this day is the KV-1. Let me duck out of here. The game is lagging. I don't know why. Back to the garage. We're going back to the garage because this round is lagging like crazy. I don't know why. That's better. Let's go into a KV-1. Now, the most manufactured tank in history are the following. This tank and this tank. In the time of the Soviet Union, when the Soviet Union was immediately when the Germans were invading the Soviet Union, 2 tanks were coming to defend the country. KV-1 and T-34. Those 2 tanks were the only 2 tanks. I don't care what any of this says. Those were the only 2 tanks that answered the call. And that's all they needed. The Germans could not get into the country. Why? Because they invaded in the wintertime. And we all know Soviet winters are really, really, really bad. But of course, Soviet tanks can handle it. That's what they're built for. They're built for snow and ice and all that crap. They're built to last. They're built they're built better than tanks. Well, they were, not the new ones. The new ones, like the T-80s and the T-90s, they suck. They absolutely suck. That's not Soviet engineering. That's cheap Russian crap. That cheap Russian crap. Soviets, they knew what the hell they were doing. They built a tank to last. And that's what they did. The KV-1 was the most manufactured tank in World War II. The most manufactured and well-used heavy tank in World War II. This tank was insane. This tank was produced from 1940 to 1942. A total of 2,769 vehicles were manufactured. Soviet Union made 2,769 KV-1s for World War II. That's insane. Now let's see what they have to say about the T-34. And then we're gonna go into the historically accurate. I have the historically accurate version of the T-34. Legend of Soviet Armed Forces. The most widely produced Soviet tank of World War II totaled 33,805 T-34s were produced and manufactured for World War II. 3 variants of this model were produced at several Soviet factories from 1940 to 1944. They produced a grand total of 33,000 of these T-34 vehicles. Not this in particular, this variant of this. From the T-34, T-34-85. This was another variant that they had, the T-34-85. This was the variant of the original T-34. Final modification of the T-34 tank of 1943. A new 3-man gun turret. So right off the bat, the T-34 hull stayed the same. What they did was they replaced the turret with a 3-man turret. Now the turret is different in this tank. This allowed them to put a more powerful gun to mount it on this tank, therefore reducing the probability of them needing a heavy tank in the first place. So therefore the KVs were not as needed as the medium tanks were, because these are faster. So you have to understand, in World War II, the Germans were all about speed. Hitler actually said, he actually called it a lightning war for a reason. When Hitler produced a lot of his tanks, he didn't screw around. I mean, he made tanks that are fast on purpose. Let's see. We have the King Tiger. The King Tiger is the first manufactured heavy that actually started completely destroying everything. They manufactured 1,354 vehicles in total. To be honest with you guys, the Germans today in 2024 were spotted to have given Ukrainian army one of these. They actually found one in fairly good condition and just gave it to the Ukrainian army and said, use it. It's useful. It's not useless, trust me. It ain't useless. This tank gave the Soviets, this tank made the Soviets shit their pants, so to speak. The Tiger tanks were scary as shit. The one thing the Tiger tanks were vulnerable to is getting bogged down in the mud. The reason why is their road wheels. Their road wheels are very odd. You see, they have road wheels that are one in front of the other like this. See this? And because they have road wheels like this, that enables that tank to gather more speed. But because they have more speed, that also means they're kicking up dirt and muck and crap faster. So there's dirt and grime and muck getting into those road wheels, and it's causing the road wheels to get gunked up, and everything's getting messed up. So, where's the shovel? They usually kept supplies on the tank. Sometimes they have supplies on the tank. They get them unstuck. Well, they might not have had that. There you go. Logs, tow ropes, in case the tank gets stuck. And these tigers, they did get stuck. Trust me. Having road wheels like this, mud gets in there, you're screwed completely. Now, Soviet tanks, you will not see layered road wheels on a Soviet tank. Why? Because they're meant to go through dirt and slop and muck. They welcome it. They don't care. The Soviets were right at home. They knew exactly what's happening in their own territory. Germans did not. That's why when the Germans invaded, they had no idea that the winter was going to be so bad. They had no idea that anything was going to be this bad. The tigers got stuck. The road wheels were getting stuck in the mud. All the mud was getting jammed into the road wheels. They're unable to move. They couldn't get them free. They had to abandon their tanks right where they stood and just walk back to Germany. The Germans were getting stuck in the mud constantly. All that mud and all that slop. The road wheels would get stuck and jammed, and that's it. That's all because the Germans took the road wheels and went like this. Because they did this and layered the road wheels, that gave the dirt and the muck and the dirt and the dust and all that stuff a place to hide. You see, when your road wheels are like this, the dirt and the muck goes behind the road wheels. And behind the road wheels is nothing. Which means the dirt, the muck, and all that stuff just falls right to the ground. See? Mud gets thrown up onto the road wheels. Road wheels spits it this way. And see, it gets thrown right back under the ground. That's the way it should be. That's a tank. Granted, not a lot of road wheels, but there's not a lot of road wheels. But I will tell you one thing. The drive wheel is what's important. This. As long as this is turning, you're fine. You want to blow it, you want to ruin somebody's track? Aim for what's called the drive wheel. The drive wheel is only wheel that has a cog. See that? That's flat. They're all flat. See that? Has teeth. The teeth grab the teeth in that wheel. Grabs the track and pushes the track forward. So the engine is connected to these two wheels in the back. See? The engine is powering these two wheels, thrusting this thing forward. The rest of these wheels are just going along for the ride. In reality, this is a rear-wheel drive vehicle. It's a rear-wheel drive. It's a rear-wheel drive engine. Rear-wheel drive, it's a rear-wheel drive vehicle that has an engine in the front. Now, where does that sound familiar? Rear-wheel drive vehicle, engine in the front. Let me see. How about all the cars from the 1960s? All the big muscle cars from the 1960s? You know, like your Mustangs, your Mustangs, your Plymouth Barracudas, your Dodge Cudas, all those big fancy gas guzzling monsters all had rear wheel drive engine in the front. This is rear wheel drive engine in the front. This is a normal automobile right here. This tank is a normal automobile. That's all fun and good. But there's one problem. Rear-wheel drive is notoriously bad in ice and snow. If you've ever driven a rear-wheel drive car in snow and ice, good luck. You're all over the road. Why? Because the weight of the engine has to be pushing on the drive wheels. Now the drive wheels of this vehicle are right here, and the engine is right here, which means all the weight's pushing on here. That's not helping me. That's not helping us any. We need the weight over the drive wheels. So right off the bat, this tank, you should know already by looking at this tank is immediately going to suck. This is not the type of tank. This is, looking at this right away and really having a detailed look at this tank, you would not keep this tank. Do not keep this tank. It's a rear wheel drive, engine in front. This is a nightmare waiting to happen. I mean, it really and truly is. There's zero weight over these drive wheels. None. None whatsoever. Granted, the drive wheels are moving the treads. That is for sure. But the engine, how does the engine turn the wheels? How does that happen? That's some kind of a drivetrain. Has to be some kind of a drivetrain here. Now, if you were to take a shot. Now, you can call me on this if you want to. Think about this. The drive wheels are right here. Am I correct? We've all confirmed that the drive wheels are right here. If you were to take an AP around and put a shot right through here and damage the drive wheels, both treads would stop working completely. Both treads would be broken. Both tracks would break at the same time. you would lose all mobility completely. All you have to do is break the drivetrain, and the tank, in reality, in real life, the tank would be completely screwed. The drivetrain is right here. This is the drivetrain. If this is a car has a drivetrain, correct? The drivetrain is what powers, is what transfers the power to the wheels. Now, the drivetrain of a tank would be that bar that connects the two drive wheels and connects over to the engine. And in this case, they have a gigantic, why, I don't know, but they have a gigantic post that goes from the drivetrain to the engine. Now, if you would have really posed a shot from here, here, or here, you can completely stop the tank dead in its tracks. It's never moving again. If you were to take out that drivetrain, that tank would be immobile for good. Done. It would be toast. It wouldn't be dead. It wouldn't be gone. But it wouldn't move. There's no way of fixing it. Once you break the drivetrain, no way, there's no turning back. The game will not register that. In reality, that would be your best hit. If you damage a drivetrain of this tank, tank's not moving. Easiest way to do that with a tank that has the engine in the front and right for the back. Right for the axle in between the two drive wheels. Drive wheels are right here. Aim your shot either here or here or in between here. Anywhere here is fine. As long as it pins, you're fine. And you should be able to stop it from moving. This has nothing to do with the game. What I'm explaining to you guys is real life common sense. Real life common sense. If the tank doesn't move, you'll be able to move and they won't. And they also can't fix the tank either. If you break the drivetrain, the tank won't be able to move, period. And they won't be able to repair it. They'll have to be towed. And they'll have to abandon the tank where it stands. It's pretty much a turret. That's all it is. It's a non-movable turret. That's all it is. So, as much as you want to use as much as you want to turn the tank around, as much as you want to drive it like this is not recommended. Why? Because I just explained to you why. Because the drivetrain is right there, and the fuel is right there. The drive wheels and the drivetrain is right there. Although, by doing this makes it a front wheel drive. So this might be better. But this is considered a rear-wheel drive tank, so we'll treat it as such. Notice it's going faster. It's going faster because instead of the drive wheels are in the rear, so it's able to go faster. Now, why are the heavies all the way up there? Normally heavies don't go up there. I'm confused. Heavies don't go up there. Lights go up there. I don't know what's going on. People never go where they're supposed to go. People never go where they're supposed to go. Jesus, mother of God, I'm a top tier tank. Driving right past them. Fix the goddamn track. Come on, you pussy. Fix the goddamn track. Of course, deflection off the back. Back shot deflected. And not penned. Hit. They blew my track off. And they were trying to repair the track, and meanwhile I'm trying to reload, and the crew can't do both. So obviously I can't drive. So the commander and the other guy probably tried to fix the track, while the gunner and the loader saved the tank. Oh my God. The gunner and the driver and the commander. The driver and the commander got out of the tank to fix the track, while the gunner and the loader stayed in the tank so they could defend themselves. That's what happened. When my track was blown, they got out of the tank to try and fix the track. Obviously, the first time it's going to be quick because of the spare. The tanks always keep a spare link right on the track. Now let's see where I was hit. Yep, there's where the track got blown off right there. I think they shot the fuel tanks. Yep. That's what I think they did. I think they shot the fuel tanks, and that blew the engine. And that. Yep. The crew abandoned. Oh shit. Oh no. The driver and the radio man must have gotten trapped. So they must have escaped out of the back. To fix the tracks and hatches weren't open, So, obviously, the engine exploded, probably killed the crew. While the other two escaped out of the back. That's what happened. What a way to die. So the commander and the radio man are both dead. Nice. Soviet engineering at its best. Go Soviets. Your commander and your radio man are dead. Congratulations. Oh, but it's okay. The loader and the gunner are alive. The commander and the radio man died in the tank. Why the hatches are not popped open? That's why. They popped the upper hatch open because they wanted to try and get out of the tank to repair the tread. But then they realized that it wasn't going to happen. There's too many tanks out there, so they got back in there and they decided to escape out the back. And that's when the front was completely, well, we should say the front was completely destroyed. So and we're back. Okay, let's never do this tank ever again. Tanks like this should not exist. They're a nightmare. They truly are. Tanks like that should not exist in this world. I don't know what they were thinking when they made it. That's just it. They were not thinking. They were not thinking clearly, I'll tell you that. Okay, let's try the key. Let's try the IS-4. Shits and giggles. Let's try this. Shits and giggles. Let's try the IS-4 and see how it is. Apparently we have progressive styles in this tank. I know we had progressive styles. Okay, this is called the 3D style. They just toss a bunch of crap on there and make it easier to hide the weak spots. In reality, the IS-3 does not have a fuel tank in the back. According to the way this looks, it looks like there's a big one right back here. That's not a fuel tank. The actual fuel tank are flat fuel tanks on the side. Along the side, a lot of crap here. But in reality, there's actual fuel tanks here. Should be fuel tanks all along here. So the 3D style is actually hiding the actual tank. 3D style is actually helping. Thank God for 3D styles. If you ever get a chance to get money to get a free 3D style, get it. Because that makes it harder to find the weak spots. Because according to this, Lower Glacius looks fine because they're storing treads. on lower glacier. So obviously there's going to be thick metal plating there. So in reality, this lower glacier is not thick. But because it's self-mounted here, it looks like it's thick. So people are not going to aim for the usual spots now because of this. It sort of makes people rethink. It makes people want to aim for this now. Now that's going to leave your sides wide open. So obviously you're going to have to angle. This tank you're going to have to learn to don't shoot them head on. You're going to have to angle your lower tank, turn the turret, and fire. You're going to have to learn to angle your armor on the tier 10s, okay guys? I'll see if I can try and get to a point where I can get in a battle where I can show you guys how to angle the armor. Of course, in the heat of battle, it's not easy to show you guys. It's easier if we were to go into a testing grounds and someone were to shoot. I would angle it, someone to shoot at it. I'd be able to show you guys. But I can't do that right now, so. And of course, the long wait. I think this is going to be the last battle. Oh, see, as soon as I say that, the battle kicks in. Okay, now, right off the bat, looking at this board with the tier 10 tank, this, going across this way is a suicide mission. No matter what tier you're in, okay, you guys know this. This is suicide mission. The only hope of survival is going this way.
What'd you say we remind them whose turf this is?
This is your only hope of survival. Obviously, they know it too because they're going the same way we are. Yeah, right next to you. Hi. I don't know what they're shooting at. There's nobody there. There's nobody there. Hello. People do not exist yet. Oh, there's one. This thing going up a hill sucks. Just so you know. This tank going up a hill really does. Okay, we have an AMX M4, T57, and the BZ72. Oh, jeez. That's different. The BZ72 is nasty. That's gonna own. That will truly own. I'm telling you right now. Make sure I have my, yeah, I do have my AP on, my AP shells on. Of course. Oh, yeah, fine. As long as I don't move, I should be fine. Except that this jackass out of my way.
We might as well be shooting pillows out. Driver's hit. We're sitting ducks. Track's blown to bits. Can't move an inch. This ain't a tickle party. Give it to 'em proper. Fix them tracks
trying.
right up.
It won't pen them properly.
Give it to 'em proper.
This leopard? Where?
Can't move. Brilliant. Now let's get this metal moving. Nice. Have it, mate.
Come on, reload. Here I am trying to snipe them to death. I tried my best. I figured Tank can't move with the shit, so I may as well use a sniper. Now, tier 10s, you can pretty much have fun with. Because you can't get any higher than where you are now. So, just have fun with it. Oh, come on. Give us a break here. Cut us some slack. Okay, here we go. Now, let's go through the detailed report and see how we did. We made 12 grand. It cost us 12 grand to repair the damage to our vehicle. Right off the bat, we lost. We won the match. Okay? We lost money. Now, it cost us 5 grand in order to resupply the ammunition. We only took 4 shots. Okay, guys? 4 shots. That's it. 4. 5 grand for 4 shots. That's $1,000 per shot. It's insane. We only made 12 grand. That's it. Let's find out why. We took 5 shots. 4 out of the 5 were direct hits. 1 penetrated. That's why. Out of the 4 shots, only 1 penned. which means only one did damage. All the rest deflected. Now, if I use HE shells, none would penetrate. All would do splash damage. And I would have gotten more money. Here I got more money because I did more damage. I sniped them from a distance longer than 300. So now obviously I got more points for that. Damage blocked by armor. I blocked 1,120 damage. I blocked a hit that could kill me in one shot. There you go. Okay, we damaged one vehicle, destroyed nothing. Damage caused with your assistance, 47. We traveled 1.32 meters, or I should say miles, technically. We got a grand total of 2,000 experience. Now what do we do with 2,000 experience with a tier 10? Now, tier 10, now, you can't get any higher than tier 10. Okay? Once you reach tier 10, there's nothing else. That's it. That's the end. So all you have is this. So now we have 28,000 experience to unlock number 1. Then 28,000 experience to unlock number 2. Then 28,000 experience to unlock number 3. 28,000 experience to unlock number 4. 28,000 experience to unlock number 5. And 28,000 experience to unlock number 6. And then you have the 2 bonus ones, 7 and 8, which you never had before. These are only available on tier 10 because there is no more tanks. So it gives you a chance to grind more. It gives you a reason to play these tanks. So you can see what the tank needs and just add it. So 1 is fine. 2, we're really gonna have to read this. Okay. Lightweight suspension will give you a +5 to hull traverse speed. +10 to suspension durability. Now, all-terrain suspension will give you a +7 to maintain speed while crossing other terrain types. It gives you a minus to everything else. So, in my opinion, it's better to have the lightweight suspension. Now, number 3. Number 4. Aiming speed, we want. You want aiming gears lapping. This is the one you want right here. You want the circle. You don't want the circle to be smaller, so that's small. You want the circle to go faster. You want the circle to immediately go faster, because speed of a circle normally goes, aiming a circle goes like this. If you increase the speed, it'll move faster. If you have the aiming circle size start at smaller size, it goes slow. Still has to go slow. I mean, still gonna have to wait longer. So it's better to have it go faster than to reduce the size. Then tier 5. Periscope electric drive. Either increase the view range or increase the stun duration. Honestly, you're better off increasing your view range, because you have this plus the periscope, and you'll increase your view range by a lot. So that tier 10 tank could really be a pretty decent spotter. Really decent spotter. So, I mean, in reality, your tier 10 does not need to get finalized. Just keep banking that experience. That's all. Keep banking it. Bank hundreds and thousands of it so you unlock that shit. Once it's done permanently, finished, then, and only then, do you hit this button right here, accelerate crew training, and tanks, no more. Now, this also doesn't have accelerated crew training on it. Still don't have experience on it either. And here's why. This tank really hasn't gotten through any battles yet. Because every time I bring this tank out, I can't get in a battle. Why don't we take it out now and see how easy it is to get in the battle. Last time it was 3 minutes and we still couldn't get in the battle. See how long it takes us to get in the battle this time. The more popular tanks always take longer. I don't know why. This is the most popular tier 10 Russian tank. It's the most popular tier 10 Russian tank. So obviously more people are playing IS-7s than any other tank. Now the AMX M454, I know for a fact that tank is bad ass. That's a very good tank. This is an amazing tank right here. That's the reason why I'm not top tier. That's an amazing tank. It truly is. If anybody out there knows what this means,
I prepared a motivational speech and everything.
I'm all ears. I actually don't know. So, AMX M4. We went that way. So I'm going this way. I'm going the same way the AMX is going, because he's going to need backup. See if we can back this guy up. Okay, we have another IS-7. And I've been spotted. Wonderful.
You gotta be kidding me.
Our trap
see if that works. Actually, obviously, that's so that's not good. I have to bet that's not easy to do. That was a gold round. Right through him. He killed him. I penned him with the gold round. God bless the gold round. I got this guy breathing down. Nah. Oh, fuck you.
We've lost a track. We're sitting ducks here.
God damn it.
That's it. All damage fixed.
They're behind me too? Oh, come on. Fucking bullshit.
Penetrated. That's it. So fast. I was just getting started.
Oh, fucking bullshit. I tried to hit his undercarriage. Okay, that's an odd spot. Why would you answer there? Is there a weak spot? I don't know that. I don't know. I think these people just spam gold rounds. I wish they told me what round they used. You know what? I claim bullshit. How did a tier 8 tank destroyer one shot tier 10? I call bullshit. That's what I'm doing. I'm calling bullshit. I'm calling bullshit, fake, whatever. A tier 8 tank destroyer cannot one shot a tier 10. No way. Unless they're cheating, of course. Then that's different. I would not say this unless I was positive. Tier 10 tanks are a lot more durable. A lot harder to damage and destroy. I literally took like one hit. That's it. One penetrating hit. I was pretty crushed. It's not like I was weak. I wasn't weak. Plus, not only did I have angled armor, plus, how can you tell where the weak spots are? I have 3D style on. Oh no, I claim bullshit. Congratulations, you received 5 tokens. I wonder why. Maybe he cheated? I don't know. We'll see. Now what I'd like to know is why did I receive 5 tokens? Mission complete. I apparently completed the mission. The mounting kit. That comes in handy. Missions for cupcakes. Apparently I got a cupcake. Yeah, let's see what cupcake is. Apparently it's a cupcake. Okay, what did I do? It said cupcake. I'm curious. Maybe this cupcake store in here. We're gonna get cupcake decals? I don't know. Battle pass? No. Gold? No. Cats? No. Vehicles? No. Bronze cast. Battlefield. 2D style. Now, where is the tokens? So they give you tokens, but they never tell you how to spend them. Or how to spend them. So I already have this tank. So tell me again why I'm getting it. If I already own this tank, tell me again why I want this. I already have that tank. Well, I'll take that. That I'll take. I'll take this. I'll take that. I don't like temporary. I don't like expirable stuff. Because I might not want to use it. I'll take it. I'll take it. The mounting kits I could always use. They come in very handy. That tank I don't want. The garage, enlarge the garage by 1, I'll take that. In fact, I'll take it, but I'll sell the tank as soon as I get it. So, because I already have it. Or before I get it, I'll sell the one I have now and then get that tank. So you need 140 cupcakes. What do you get if you get 140 cupcakes? I'm confused. Oh, you get this. So what is it? A7 E3? Not sure what that is. A7E3. I don't know that tank. So I have to get 14 cupcakes. If I can get 14 cupcakes, I'll get this. No, give me 20 cupcakes. Okay. That makes sense. Tell me that makes sense. Okay, so you have to 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 7. There are 7 missions. 14. So in each of 14 battles. So I've already done 5. So I have to do 14 in each of these. In order, each of these I have to get 14. In 14 battles I have to complete each of these. In total of 14 battles. Okay, now I kind of get it, but I don't get it. So, I don't really get it. So, I get it, but I don't get it. I don't understand. Battle Pass. I have these tanks. I have all these tanks. But what they give you for the mission is just not worth it. So, because the tanks I already have are already finished. I have no reason to even have combat experience on that tank because I don't need combat experience on that tank. It's done. So. Okay, apparently it says there's one mission I haven't looked at yet. But I don't see anymore. Okay, every time Onslaught season comes up, I always miss it. I don't know why. For some reason they pop up and they disappear just as quick. Every time they have an Onslaught season, I want to join in, but I can't because it's gone just as fast as it shows up. I don't understand. Okay, while I'm here, before I log off and before I call a night, and next week we're gonna move on to SPGs. We're gonna move on to artillery. I'm gonna show you guys some tricks. I'm trying to do this early, when my brain's a little bit better. Artillery is a little more involved. So, I'm going to be doing a lot more talking and a lot less moving. So, I'm going to show you guys low tier arty and high tier arty and mid tier arty. I'm going to show you guys arty in 3 different tiers. Show you guys 3 different strategies. Okay, guys? Because arty I'm very good with. So, okay, let's go back to the garage. Until next time, we're going to do artillery. We're going to work on artillery. We're going to play this thing. We're going to play this thing. And we're going to play this thing. I'm going to show you guys how to play all 3. Okay, guys? I'm going to show you guys how to play all 3 and how all 3 are different. And you cannot play all 3 exactly the same. Not all of them have guns that reach to the end of the board. This one has a gun that can reach from one end of the board to the other and beyond. So this one has reach. It does not have camouflage at all. So, for the love of God, anything that gives you a camouflage bonus, take it. Make sure you have camouflage bonuses. Big time. Even if you have to get a camouflage directive, do it. I mean, I don't know if it's going to give you a bonus on camouflage, but improves the following. So it improves camouflage. It doesn't replace camouflage or give the perk camouflage. It improves the camouflage perk. It gets a 10% bonus to vehicle concealment. Okay. Now, if you didn't give any of your crews firefighting, if you didn't give the commander firefighting on the radio man firefighting, you can do so here. Remember we went over crew 2.0 and I told you guys when you're setting up the crew, make sure the radio man has firefighting? Well, see? Make sure the radio man has firefighting. Let's say you don't have firefighting. Okay. If the radio man does not have firefighting, you need it now? Quick directives. For crew. Experienced firefighter. Apply. And we'll show up right there. And you're good to go. Someone sets your tank on fire, the fire will go out immediately. When you have experienced firefighter, it won't take them that long. Especially if you have a fire extinguisher in there, or automatic fire extinguisher, even better. Okay. So next time we're going to be going over SPGs. And we're going to start off with this one. We're going to start off small and work our way up. That's exactly what we're going to do. Man, I actually have improved. I didn't know that. I actually haven't improved. I know I had improved. Wow, that's impressive. I had absolutely no clue I hadn't improved. That's really awesome. Okay, here's our camouflage. Now this crew does not have firefighting. So what we're gonna do is before next week, I'm gonna work on this one right now before next week. All I want is one crew member. So not quite what I had in mind, but this is not good. Okay, now. Radio man. Firefighting. Have to have that. He's the only one that can have firefighting. There's other ones also. Don't remember what they are. Mentor is for the commander. I do know that. The gunner. I think the most important gunner skill that I know of is quick aiming. I do know all of them should have brothers in arms, but it's a low tier tank, so I'm not really worried about that. Of course, this thing has a turret. Okay, this is the driver. So, obviously, the driver is going to need something that enables you to turn, rotate the tank faster. So, halt traverse speed. We're going to want this. Clutch braking is important. So we're going to want him to turn faster. Now, loader. Definitely want a good loading skill. Adrenaline rush? No. Intuition? Shell velocity by 10%. Well, we don't have to worry about shell velocity. We're overhead shotting. So, when fully trained, decreases gun loading time. No, we won't have to worry about that. Fully trained, minimum potential damage, minimum penetration. No, we're not going to have to worry about that. Intuition is the only thing we're really worried about. Intuition sort of like speeds up the reloading time. Yeah, I'd have to say that's probably our best bet. Because that right away that increases that makes the job a hell of a lot easier. Now the new skills for the commander are very confusing. So we're gonna go over that right now. Oh shit! All right, we're out of time. Hold on, let me just shut this thing up real quick. Let's go back into this. All right, we're gonna wrap up very soon. After we're done with this, we're gonna wrap things up. Let's just finish this first. We're gonna wrap this up. Okay, practicality. When fully trained, decreases consumable cooldown. Use a lot of consumables, that's perfect. Artillery is not going to use a lot of consumables. When fully trained, it's just an alert about enemy SPG fire. Now, if this is fully trained, we're going to get an alert if another enemy SPG is going to aim at us. Now, it would come in handy, but we're a low tier. So, not really. When fully trained, increase the aiming speed by 2 spot. If you spot an enemy vehicle. Well, here's the problem. SPGs don't spot enemy vehicles, so that's gone. And fully trained, increases the view range by 2%. Reduces the penalty. The damage observation devices. We don't have a view range, so don't have to worry about that. Increases the crew efficiency bonus by 5%. Mentor. Mentor is the only one we can do. Okay, so now this tank is ready for next week. Next week, we should be able to start the game with a fairly decent tank. Now let's check and see if there's any research need to be made. Nope. All three are top tier. The radio is top tier. This tank is fully upgraded. We should be good to go. Okay, so this tank is fully upgraded. So we should not have to worry about that. We shouldn't have to worry about that. Shells. We only have one shell type, so that's fine. Of course it has to be high explosive, obviously. Okay, so next week we're gonna work on SPGs, okay? We're gonna do a tutorial video on SPGs. Okay? Thank you very much for watching the channel. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for suffering with my lack of brain power at night. I really appreciate it. I really am trying to tough through this. Whenever I do these videos, I try to just like push right through it. I'm not sure if I'm really coming across as being okay, but in reality, I'm suffering dearly. Every time I speak, I'm suffering dearly, because I'm trying to push myself to find the right words to say and try to say it properly. So, okay, enough about me. I'm going to shut up now. See you guys next Friday. We're going to talk about SPGs and how they work. We're going to try a tier 3, a tier 8, and a tier 10. I'm going to show you guys where to go, where to hide, and what to do. Because SPGs have different ranges. Naturally, a natural SPG's person is going to put their tank in the corners of the maps. That's a given. When you have a tank like this, that's not the case. A tank like this, that's never the case. Because this has a range of like dick squat. This has a range of nothing. It's like literally nothing. So you have to find a really big bush somewhere in the middle of the board and camp there. Don't move the bottom of the turret at all. Just don't move the hull. Just move the turret. The small ones always have a turret. They always do. Why? Because they have no range. So they have to go up. They have to go way up to the battlefield. They can't stay back at the base. They can't stay at the back end of the base. They have to stay. They have to get into the battle. They have to hide. They have to really hide. I mean, you have to really find a good place to hide. There's no such thing as hide one out in the open. Because if you hide one out in the open, you're going to be a dead man. Anyway, we'll go over that next week. Except I'm going to do it. I'm going to try and record the video early next week. I'm going to try and record the video on a Saturday. I'm going to try and do it earlier. When my brain's a little bit better. So I can talk better and I can think and function as a normal human being. Instead of doing this absolute utter bullshit. Anyway, with that in mind, thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the videos. Please tell your friends, tell your family, and please help a bro out. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great night. Of course, why should I go to the training center? I'm a 14-year vet. I've been playing this game for 14 years. Why would I go to the training center? In fact, I might actually do a video about that. So I might actually go into the training center and do a video about that one day. Maybe we'll work on that one day. So, maybe. Just maybe. Alright, guys. Have a good one.